My fiancée declared, "I'm too good for your family's cheap restaurants," at my grandmother's 90th birthday dinner. I said, "You're absolutely right." Then I made sure she never had to lower her standards again by canceling the wedding next morning. Her tune changed when I, 32 male, was engaged to Bethany, 28, for 8 months, together for 2 years total. The wedding was supposed to be in 3 months. Keyword, was. My grandmother Elena just turned 90. She's first-generation immigrant, built a small empire of 3 family restaurants from nothing, and is basically the matriarch of our entire extended family. For her birthday, she wanted one thing: everyone together at her original restaurant, the one she opened in 1978 with my late grandfather. It's not fancy. Red checkered tablecloths, photos from the old country on the walls, menu hasn't changed in 30 years. But the food? Authentic as it gets, and to our family, it's sacred ground. Bethany knew this. I'd told her the stories 100 times, how my grandparents saved every penny for 5 years to open it, how my mom basically grew up in that kitchen, how every major family announcement happened at table 12. The night of the party, Bethany showed up late. Full designer outfit, fresh from the salon, looking like she was headed to a charity gala. "This is it," she said, looking at the restaurant. "I thought we were going to the nice location uptown." "This is the nice location. It's the original." She wrinkled her nose but walked in. My whole family was there. Cousins from 3 states away. My uncle Antonio, who hadn't visited in 2 years, everyone. Grandma Elena lit up when she saw us. "My beautiful." She mixes languages when she's happy. Bethany air-kissed her. Didn't hug, air-kissed. My 90-year-old grandmother. We sat down at the long family table. The food started coming out, Grandma's famous meatballs, the lasagna that won 3 local awards, fresh bread from the bakery next door that's been our supplier since 1982. Bethany pushed her plate away. "Aren't you eating?" my Aunt Rosa asked. "I'm on a cleanse. This is all so heavy." Strike 1. Then my cousin's kid, little Tony, he's 5, accidentally knocked over his juice. It splashed on Bethany's designer bag. "Are you kidding me?" she screeched. "This is a $3,000 purse. Who lets a child run wild like this?" The entire restaurant went silent, not just our table, the whole place. "It was an accident," my cousin Marie said, trying to clean it up. "An accident that ruined designer leather. This is why I said we should have had this at an actual nice restaurant, not some place where people bring screaming children." My grandmother's face. I'll never forget it. She looked like someone had slapped her. Strike 2. But Bethany wasn't done. "Honestly, Thomas," she said to me, loud enough for everyone to hear, "I'm too good for your family's cheap restaurants. This place looks like it hasn't been updated since the 70s. The food is basically peasant food, and don't get me started on the clientele." She gestured around at the other diners. Regular folks, families, couples on dates. The backbone of our community for 45 years. When we have kids, they're not eating here. I won't have them thinking this is acceptable dining. Strike 3, 4, 5, and 6. I stood up, calm, collected. "You're absolutely right." She smiled, thinking she'd won. "Finally, we can go to that sushi place." "No, I mean you're right that you're too good for this. You're too good for my family, too good for our history, too good for the woman who built everything that paid for the ring on your finger." Her face changed. "Thomas, I didn't mean..." Everyone heard exactly what you meant. I looked at my grandmother, tears in her eyes, my mom holding her hand, my entire family staring at the woman I was supposed to marry. "Enjoy your sushi." Alone. I walked over to my grandmother, kissed her forehead, and whispered in her ear, "She's gone tomorrow, I promise." Then I left. Walked out of my grandmother's 90th birthday. Worst night of my life. Bethany didn't follow. She sat there for another 5 minutes, according to my sister, then called an Uber. She texted me all night. "That was dramatic. You embarrassed me. We need to talk. You can't just leave me there. Answer me, Thomas." I didn't respond. Instead, I did something else. At 9 a.m. the next morning, I called our wedding venue. "Hi, this is Thomas Reeves. I need to cancel the Reeves-Morrison wedding for September 15th. "Oh no, is everything okay? You'll lose your deposit." "That's fine. Cancel it all." Then I called the florist, the photographer, the DJ, the caterer. Ironically, not my family's restaurant. Bethany had insisted on some pretentious French place. Canceled everything. By noon, $8,000 in deposits were gone, worth every penny. Then I went to the apartment. Our apartment. Well, my apartment that she'd moved into 6 months ago. Packed all her stuff, neatly, carefully. Every designer dress, every overpriced shoe, every piece of jewelry except the engagement ring that was mine to return. 23 boxes total. Left them in the lobby with a note. You were right, you deserve better than us. Good luck finding it. Then I changed the locks. Update 1. The aftermath was intense. Bethany showed up at my office with her mother, Patricia, full Karen mode activated. What have you done? Patricia screamed at the reception desk. You canceled everything? Security was called. I came down to the lobby. Thomas, Patricia said, switching to fake sweet mode. Surely this is all a misunderstanding. Bethany told me there was a small disagreement about dinner venues. She called my grandmother's life work a cheap restaurant with peasant food at her 90th birthday. Patricia's face twitched. Well, perhaps the phrasing was unfortunate. She said she was too good for my family. She didn't mean. She meant every word, and I believe her. She is too good for us, so I'm setting her free to find her level. Bethany started crying. The fake kind, with no actual tears. Baby, please, you're overreacting. It's just pre-wedding stress. Pre-wedding stress makes you insult the woman who raised me after my dad died? Oh yeah, forgot to mention that part. Grandma Elena basically raised me and my sister after my dad passed when I was 10. She's not just my grandmother, she's everything. I didn't know she raised you. You've been with me for 2 years, you knew. Patricia tried another angle. The wedding is in 3 months, people will talk. Let them talk. The deposits, already gone, canceled everything yesterday. That's when Bethany lost it. Real tears this time. You lost $30,000? $8,000, and it wasn't lost. It was invested in not marrying someone who thinks she's too good for the people I love. Security escorted them out, but not before Patricia shouted, You'll regret this. My daughter has options. I hope she exercises them. I called back. That night, the family group chat exploded. My sister Lisa, Grandma wants to know if you're okay. My mom, I'm proud of you. Uncle Antonio, thank God. She was awful. Cousin Marie, little Tony asks if the mean lady is gone forever. Me, yes, tell him the mean lady is gone. But the best message came from my grandmother. She doesn't text, but she had my mom write it. My dear Thomas, you are worth more than all the designer purses in the world. Sunday dinner, table 12, don't be late. Table 12, where my grandfather proposed to her, where my parents announced their engagement, where every important family moment happened, where Bethany would never sit again. Update 2. So Bethany's options didn't quite pan out like Patricia promised. First, she tried to salvage the wedding by herself. Called all our vendors to uncancel everything. Funny thing about deposits though, once they're gone, they're gone. And rebooking everything? The costs had mysteriously increased. The venue was suddenly 40% more expensive. The florist had a rush fee. The photographer was unfortunately booked. She needed roughly $45,000 to rebook everything. Her solution? She started telling everyone I was financially abusive and had stolen her wedding. The problem? Everyone knew the real story. My cousin Marie's husband is a bartender at the country club where Bethany's friends hang out. He heard everything. Bethany's version. Thomas became irrationally jealous and controlling. He canceled our wedding because I suggested we try new restaurants. Her friend, I heard you called his grandmother's restaurant cheap. Bethany, I was taken out of context. Another friend, didn't you say it at her 90th birthday party? The friend, in front of his entire family? They're too sensitive. Her friends weren't buying it. But the real karma came from an unexpected source. Remember how Bethany worked as a luxury brand consultant? Basically, she helped rich people spend money on overpriced stuff. Her whole job depended on her image and connections. Well, turns out my grandmother Elena isn't just a restaurant owner. She's a legendary restaurant owner. 3 successful locations. 45 years in business. She knows everyone in the food industry, including Richard Blackstone, who owns the luxury shopping center where Bethany's office is located. Richard has been eating at Grandma's restaurant every Thursday for 20 years. Same table, same order. He was there for her 90th birthday. He heard everything. Monday morning, Bethany's boss called her in. Bethany, We need to discuss your client relations. My numbers are excellent. Richard Blackstone called. He's concerned about your values alignment with our brand. What? He said you publicly humiliated Elena Rossi at her birthday celebration, called her life's work cheap and peasant food. That's not, it was a private family matter. In a public restaurant. With 60 witnesses, including 3 of our clients. Yeah. Turns out the unacceptable clientele Bethany sneered at included 2 CEOs and a federal judge. All regulars. All friends of my grandmother. Bethany wasn't fired, but she was encouraged to pursue opportunities elsewhere. Corporate speak for quit before we fire you. She lasted 2 more days before resigning. Update 3. Desperation mode activated. Bethany started dating immediately. Immediately. New guy every week on Instagram, each one richer than the last, allegedly. First was Garrett, investment banker. Lasted 4 days until she demanded he take her to a $500 per person restaurant on their second date. He ghosted her. Then came Philippe, said he was a European entrepreneur. Turned out he was a waiter at a French restaurant lying about his accent. She found out when she surprise visited him at his office. But the third guy was special. Harrison Wellington III. Old money. Legitimate old money. We're talking grandfather-owned railroads money. Bethany thought she'd hit the jackpot. Posted constantly about finally finding someone on my level, and when you know your worth, you attract what you deserve. Patricia was ecstatic. Started planning another wedding immediately. Small problem? Harrison's family does their homework. His mother, Eleanor Wellington, is old-school high society, the kind who has a private investigator on retainer. She researched Bethany thoroughly, found the restaurant incident, the social media posts, the luxury consultant job she no longer had, everything. But Eleanor was smart. She didn't tell Harrison. She invited Bethany to tea. My sister Lisa knows Eleanor's assistant. Got the whole story. Eleanor served Bethany tea in actual antique china worth more than my car. Then casually mentioned, I heard you're quite the food critic. Something about peasant food? Bethany went pale. That was... My dear girl, the Wellingtons have been eating at Elena Rossi's restaurant for 40 years. My late husband adored her meatballs, called them the best in the state. I didn't know. Of course you didn't. You seem to not know quite a lot, like how Harrison's trust fund has a morality clause. Any spouse who publicly disparages family friends or shows conduct unbecoming forfeits all financial rights. That's not legal? Oh, very much so. We've had it since 1943, prevented quite a few unfortunate marriages. Eleanor smiled. Harrison is free to marry whomever he chooses, but his money, that's family money, and we protect family, including extended family like the Rossis. Bethany left in tears. Harrison dumped her that evening, via text, while she was at dinner at a very expensive restaurant that she had to pay for herself. Update 4. The spiral was real. Bethany moved back in with Patricia. No job, no man, no wedding. No apartment. She couldn't afford rent alone. But did she learn? Nah. She started a blog, Dating After Emotional Abuse, A Survivor's Journey. Every post was about me. Thinly veiled, but obvious. When your ex chooses his family over your future. Red flags I ignored. He was too close to his mother. Why successful women threaten insecure men. The comments were not supportive. Girl, you insulted his grandma at her birthday. This isn't the flex you think it is. Team Thomas to Baha. She disabled comments. Then came the cease and desist. See, Bethany made one crucial mistake. She used a photo from my grandmother's birthday in her post about toxic family dynamics, without permission. A photo that included my 90-year-old grandmother. My uncle Antonio is a lawyer. A very good lawyer. He sent a letter. Remove all photos and references to the Rossi family immediately, or face legal action for defamation and unauthorized use of likeness. She removed everything. But the internet never forgets. Screenshots were everywhere. Someone made a TikTok. Rich girl calls grandma's food peasant food, loses everything. It went viral. 2.3 million views. The comments were brutal. Imagine being too good for homemade Italian food. She really thought she was doing something. Grandma's revenge is served hot, unlike this girl's relationship. Patricia called me, crying, Thomas, please make them stop. Bethany is destroyed. I'm not doing anything, she posted online. The internet responded. You could defend her. Defend her from the truth? She said those things, in public, to my grandmother. She's suffering. So did my grandmother on her 90th birthday. Have you no compassion? I had tons. She called it peasant food. Patricia hung up. Update 5. Plot twist nobody saw coming. My grandmother hired Bethany. I'm not joking. I was at Sunday dinner when Grandma dropped the bomb. I offered Bethany a job. I nearly choked on my meatball. What? She needs work. I need a dishwasher. Grandma, no, you don't need to. I don't need to do anything. I'm 90. I do what I want. But she's young and stupid. I was young and stupid once. The difference is I learned. She won't take it. Grandma smiled. She already did. My jaw hit the floor. She starts tomorrow. Minimum wage, no special treatment. She works, she eats, she learns humility, or she leaves. Why? Because, my dear boy, the best revenge isn't destroying someone. It's letting them see what they threw away. Every single day. My grandmother is a savage. And Bethany? She actually showed up. First day, she wore designer gloves to wash dishes. They dissolved in the industrial soap. Second day, she complained about the smell. The cook told her to get used to it or get out. Third day, she cried in the walk-in freezer, but she kept coming back. Week 2, she stopped wearing makeup. No point when you're sweating over a dish pit. Week 3, she actually ate the staff meal. Peasant food never tasted so good when you're hungry. Week 4, a regular customer, Mrs. Chen, yes, the federal judge, recognized her. Aren't you the girl who... Oh my. Bethany just kept washing dishes. Final update. Today was my grandmother's 91st birthday. Different restaurant this time, the newest location, bigger party, same family, same table 12. I brought someone. Adriana. Met her at a bookstore. She teaches elementary school, drives a 10-year-old Honda, and cried happy tears when she met my grandmother. Your meatballs are incredible, Mrs. Rossi. Call me Grandma, and have seconds. Adriana had thirds. Halfway through dinner, someone started singing happy birthday in the kitchen. The staff came out with a cake. Bethany was holding it, still in her dishwasher apron, hair in a net, no makeup, looking exhausted. She placed the cake in front of my grandmother. Their eyes met. Happy birthday, Mrs. Rossi. Thank you, dear. Bethany looked at me, at Adriana, at the ring on Adriana's finger. Yes, I proposed last week at table 12 with my grandmother's blessing. She didn't say anything, just walked back to the kitchen. Later, my grandmother pulled me aside. She's quitting tomorrow. Good. I'm giving her a reference. What? She worked hard for 3 months, never missed a day, never complained after the first week. She earned it. Grandma, the girl who insulted me is gone. The one washing dishes is different. Not better, but different. Sometimes that's enough. You're too kind. No, I'm exactly kind enough. She learned that what she called peasant food feeds hundreds of families, that my cheap restaurant employs 30 people, that the unacceptable clientele are doctors, teachers, judges, and janitors, all equal at my tables. And she learned that you can't wash dishes with a $3,000 purse. We laughed. Bethany did quit. Got a job at a mid-level marketing firm, dating some guy named Roger who works in accounting. No Instagram posts about it. Patricia doesn't speak to me, or anyone in my family, or the Wellingtons, or the Blackstones. Harrison Wellington III is engaged to a kindergarten teacher. His mother adores her. My family's restaurants are thriving. The TikTok actually brought in tons of new customers. Grandma had to hire more staff. Adriana and I are getting married next spring, at the restaurant, the original one, reception at table 12. The menu? Peasant food. The guest list? Unacceptable clientele. The venue? A cheap restaurant that hasn't been updated since the 70s. The bride? Someone who knows that my grandmother's meatballs are worth more than all the designer purses in the world. And Bethany? She sent a card, just signed B with no message. My grandmother framed it, hangs in the kitchen next to a photo from her 91st birthday. To remember, she says, that dignity isn't designer. It's dishes. It's work. It's respect. It's knowing that no one is too good for honest food made with love. My grandmother is 91 years old, 5 feet tall, and the most savage person I know, and I'm proud to be her grandson. Even if our restaurants are cheap and our food is for peasants. P.S. to everyone asking, yes, the restaurants are real. No, I won't say where. My grandmother doesn't need the drama. She just needs her family, her tables, and her dignity. P.P.S. The meatball recipe dies with her. Don't even ask. Bethany, if you're reading this, the dish soap is under the sink. You know where.